Hello, my name is Replicor and today we've got some news. Well, Netflix is going to release a new live-action adaptation of Cowboy Bebop. It's coming this November and I do not see any reasons why they did that. They are still repeating the same problem that they had with the previous live-action adaptations of the other animes, and now this time they've got to show us something new. They've got to show us another thing that comes to a race change, but at least not that critical, I would say, but it still cuts my eye, to be honest. So, we've got the new images for the preview of Cowboy Bebop that is coming this November. So, the actors that are shown in these images are John Cho, Daniela Pineda and Mustafa Shakir. So, well, let's just look at the picture. The picture, to be honest, looks quite cool. I don't see any reasons to be negative about it, but the only thing that is at least a little bit wrong is just the guy on the right. Well, I do remember such character as Jet Black from the anime adaptation, but I do not remember him being black, to be honest. Maybe that's the thing, maybe that's just the thing that Netflix likes, maybe there is some person in Netflix office who makes live-action adaptations of anime and he has a fetish maybe for race change, maybe he has some fetish for blackwashing or something like that, because I do not see any reason to do that. Somehow it happens. All the time. We've got Faye Valentine, we've got Spike Spiegel, and we've got Jet Black. So, Faye Valentine actually looks okay, even though I don't remember her race from the original anime. Maybe she was some kind of a European person. We remember her living on the Earth, and we see quite a good version of Spike Spiegel. Well, the thing about the surname Spiegel is that it doesn't sound like something Asian, but John Cho is playing Spike Spiegel. Well, it will probably be fine. He looks a little bit like Spike, but it's fine, because the thing on the right is worse. I do not remember Jet Black being so, well, black. Another thing is about Ed, because we know that Ed is a tanned girl. She lives on the Earth, and we know the thing about her. We know that typical problem with Japanese showcase of black characters. They are not the way you think they look, usually. They're usually shown in quite a different way than you might think. In fact, such characters like Rem Little from Guilty Gear Strive and, for example, Ed from the original Cowboy Bebop, that was the anime from the 90s if I am not mistaken, she was not black, she was just tanned because there was a problem with the whole climate thing on the Earth. Probably that was the reason why she was tanned. It doesn't make any sense for Netflix probably, because I'm sure about one thing only. They will really show her as a black character. I am completely sure about that. You will see that. There's also a thing about live-action adaptations of any kind of anime, because you know that they are not usually that good and they are not usually as good as you might think about them, but well, probably that's okay for some people, but I'm not a fan of such thing. I remember that I've been watching some kind of anime live-action adaptations. I don't remember them being so good. I really don't remember that. I remember that they were laughingly bad. So, it's relatively short with a seemingly definitive ending. It has great music, well, it really does have a good music, and the thing about Cowboy Bebop is the whole story about it and the whole story of it being a failure on the Japanese market, but at the same time being called a masterpiece on the Western market, such as in the United States of America. I remember such thing, and the thing is that it has its own cult, people like this anime, and the problem with it is that it just wasn't appreciated by Asian people, but it was appreciated by the Western people, because the thing about Cowboy Bebop is that it's not the typical kind of anime that you may see. It's not that simple, because it was created by the people who probably loved American culture, and we see that because a lot of different elements, especially in the music, are shown just for people who like jazz, who like some kind of an electronic music and things like that. That adaptation is probably going to be quite good, but I just don't see any reason to make a live-action adaptation. You could make probably something else with it. I'm hesitated. I'm hesitating a lot, especially when I see the pictures, but maybe it will be good. Maybe. I don't say it will be. I'm definitely not sure about that, but maybe it will be completely fine. So, let's read the article. We'll give them this. It does look a fair amount like Cowboy Bebop. I wouldn't say that. Well, John Cho's Spike is wearing the suit. Well, yeah, he really does wear that kind of suit, and it looks kind of fine. And Danielle Pineda's Faye is wearing a reasonable approximation of her anime outfit, because it is really an approximation and nothing else, because Faye wasn't wearing that thing. She was like half naked or something like that, but she wasn't really wearing the thing that we see on the pictures. So, then, Mustafa Shakir's Jet has a robot arm and the set for the Bebop. Yeah, that's pretty much cool, but you see that you don't see the thing about Mustafa Shakir being black here. You don't see the whole fact of him being kind of another character in the original anime. You know, I would be even fine if Ed was black. Ed could be black, at least, like, you know, that kind of black that is not... that is like brownish kind of black. Well, I would be fine with that. But Jet Black doesn't want to be black. He is not that kind of a character. And especially when we know the fact that he is, well, a cop. He was a cop in his, let's say, just previous life, but we do not remember him being black. And probably it was done like that because of the whole conflict with the police that we have in our modern world, when a lot of people are saying shit like defund the police and stuff like that. Well, probably this is one of the reasons. There is one good thing, to be honest, because they've got a dog, and I've seen from the pictures that the dog is still a corgi. Yeah, hell yeah, they nailed it, because at least they didn't make a dog a Labrador that is black, they made it a corgi that was in the actual anime. So, thanks for that, at least, let's just say that. We'll give them this. It does look a fair amount like I just read that. So, seems to be hitting the right blend of cool sci-fi spaceship and complete shithole, because, well, it was a shithole, because the thing about Cowboy Bebop that, well, the bounty hunters were not so successful as we think about them. They are kind of losers, to be honest, but that's the thing. So, there are then some of the images here. Can I do that? Yeah, you can. So, let's look at the dog. Hell yeah! They've nailed it! Look at that boy! Hell yeah! That's a corgi right there! I like the thing. I like the thing. He at least looks like the dog from the anime, and it's kinda cool. It's kinda cool. You also got another picture that I really liked. It's... okay. It was the picture from the church. It was quite good. Notably absent are Alex Hassel, who is playing Sirius Vilna's Vicious, and Elena Satie, who is playing Spike long-lost love interest Julia. Well, that's kinda interesting. Vicious has one of the more silly designs in the anime, if only because his whole thing is extremely anime. Wow, really? Characters in the anime really do look like characters from the anime? Wow, who would have thought? Really? I'm kind of curious about Julia and the way Julia will look, because she was a white girl with blonde hair. We'll see. We will just simply see. Okay, then... also absent as usual, Edward, the fourth member of the Bebop crew, not the fourth one, the fifth one. The fourth one is a dog. So, who has been completely unacknowledged by Netflix in the years of teases we've been getting about Cowboy Bebop. It seems like she probably won't show up. I think she will. At least not until a hypothetical season 2, but we will know for sure when the series drops on Netflix on November 19th. Now, let's look at the comments, because comments are damn interesting. So... Scott Summons 76 says, Jet Black is just a name, he wasn't literally black. I hate the way that now they always have to change some of the character's sex and or race in every adaptation. It's like a fucking law now or something. They just can't adapt something and leave all of it intact, as is. And the person just joking even says, I even heard they don't use real spaceships in the show. Well, I like the response from Scott Summers. Good job. Now, Lopez. Oh yeah, I like that response. It's one of the best responses that I have ever had. So, let's just read that shit. Why? Why do you care? It's a made-up spaceship show about made-up spaceship people on a made-up spaceship. What difference does it make when the cast actors don't necessarily look like they made-up cartoon spaceship people for the real-life made-up spaceship people? If the show is good, the show is good. If the show is bad, the show is bad. It doesn't matter when the actors involved look like. So, here is a kind of analogy. Let's think that we are now getting the fourth version of Matrix. So, we are getting Matrix 4, and each character of Matrix 4 is a black disabled transgender. Let's just think about that. Well, let's just think about that and say something like, why do you care? It's a made-up setting, it's a made-up idea, it's a made-up show, it's a made-up movie, and in a made-up universe. That's a great logic right there. I really like it, and it reminds me of the thing about you are not fat, you have fat. You also have fingernails, you are not a fingernail. No ad, likely that the first season will cover only the first 8 episodes of the original with some added backstory bullshit to pad it out. I'm holding out hope they haven't cast her yet or they want it to be a surprise. Well, maybe it will be a surprise. I guess they might tease her showing up, so okay. I forget the chick's name in the pics, okay. But they gave her a lot more clothing. Well, it is really a thing. They really did that, but it's probably fine. That's just the thing with the modern adaptations. They really don't look like the original thing, and it's completely fine. But it shouldn't be. So, mad that they cast a black guy and complaining that Faye isn't basically naked. Wow, you're just a full of shit takes, huh? Are you going to tell us about Gamergate next? Well, good one. Yeah, I can understand why they would give Faye more clothes. Lots of anime has just ridiculous fashion that doesn't really work with live action transitions but looks neat when you're animating a series. So, it would be kind of hard for the actress and her stunt double to do stunts and action with all of her TNA falling out. Yeah, isn't that the thing that when she has less clothes, maybe she will be fine with that while making some appearance in, let's just say, action scenes? Did you think about that? Did you think about some of the scenes that involve acrobatics, for example? Did you think about that? Maybe you should. I'm sure that there will be at least a few scenes where Faye is sunbathing or whatever in their downtime. There was some kind of that episode, but her outfit is always seemed a bit impractical for action scenes, though it was quite iconic. Her outfit all seemed a bit impractical for action scenes. Each character's outfit was impractical for action scenes. There was no character that had some kind of a Kevlar vest or something like that, because that's just the world of bounty hunters. Nobody cares about their security at all. And that's the thing. So, that's the thing that we see right now. There is going to be something from Netflix, there is going to be blackwashing, there is going to be all the things happening, and it's just that. Thanks for watching, thanks for your attention, I really appreciate that. So, have a good one, have a good day, be completely fine,